Hey everyone, welcome to Saturday Night Popcorn. This is Jason.
This is Kai, and we have another great discussion for you today. The movie of the day is actually a series. We're going to talk about Creed 1, 2, and 3. Um, Creed 1 and 2 have been out for a few years, but Creed 3 just came out last weekend, so definitely want to give a spoiler warning for that.
Yeah, like okay said, Creed 1 came out in 2015. So the distant past. And then Creed 2 came out in 2018, and then just recently Creed 3 came out in 2023. And with the directors, it's kind of significant to say
Yeah.
Creed 3 was directed by Michael B.
Michael
Jordan.
B. Yep.
So that's is this his directorial debut?
It
Like, is
was,
this
yeah.
first one? Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a big movie.
Yeah, man. I think he did a really good job, though.
Yeah, that will like the first one was directed by a
Ryan
guy named
Coog
Ryan Coogler. So that comes in where it's like you have like the Black Panther and Wakanda
yeah,
Forever and stuff.
Wakanda,
And I look
Fruitville
back that
Station,
yeah, Fruitville Station. So he's directed Michael B. Jordan quite a
and
bit
a
too.
bunch of movies. Yeah, he's been in like almost every. Yeah, I think Michael B. Jordan's been in almost all of his movies.
Yeah,
If not
except
all of
for
them.
that what is it, the Messiah one? Um
Did he direct that? The Black Messiah?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I don't know. I looked it up. When I look up like Ryan Coogler, it for some reason it shows that he directed all three of the Creed movies. I was like, I know that's not possible. So I think he's associated with all the Creed
Yeah,
movies.
gotta
Like
be
he's like produced or something
producer.
and all that stuff
Well, even
for like
Sylvester
some of them.
Stallone was a producer on Creed 3.
Yeah, yeah, and he wrote. I think Creed. He wrote the screenplay for Creed 2.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, as we digress. But
Yeah.
uh,
No, he was a producer for The Black Messiah.
Okay, so oh, man, so like Google's like I don't know what I'm looking at Google, but but yeah, we have some like pretty significant. Who's the director for
Stephen
I
somebody. I kind of glanced at it real quick.
yeah,
Stephen
close to
Capel Jr. Capel.
which which I think the second one is nothing to scoff at too.
Oh yeah.
And we'll kind of get into it. But uh, in terms of did you watch the original Rockies, like all of them or something, or like at least the
No.
majority of them?
I've seen a couple of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've seen the first one and then I've seen like some random one off like a couple decades later that came out.
Yeah, I feel like everyone kind of like has either seen them when like in like they have the movie of them, or they like or they're showing them on TV randomly and stuff.
Yeah, because they're
So
always on. There's so many of them.
yeah, there's so many of them and everything, but we get the general gist of like Rocky and everything, and
Yeah.
like Rocky's present in the first one and the second Creed movie, and is not present, or and even
He's not
significant
in the
enough,
third. Yeah.
he's not even like mentioned in the third.
No.
And
And I
so it's
still don't
like
understand that back. I think I'm guessing there's some backstory, but I don't really dig into that drama. But yeah, there's something that happened between 2 and 3
yeah,
where
I was
Rocky
like
just
either
wasn't
he's dead
associated.
and
No, because his
or
cancer went away. Supposedly just went away in the second one. So it
yeah,
can't
so
be
he's
that.
like no cancer, but at the second one he ends by going and seeing his son.
Yeah.
I think who he said lives in Canada, which is significant because we know that Rocky Balboa does not like to travel. Which is funny because like they
Go in the
reference
desert.
this is like yeah, they go to the desert, but they reference him not liking to travel in the second Creed, but in the first Creed, the final fight is in London, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. Yeah.
Europe.
Because they
So
go
it's
from
like, and
Philly.
then, but
They were
they
in
didn't
Philly
mention
most of the
him
movie and then
like
went over.
not liking traveling. So
They kept that a secret.
yeah, I guess so, right?
Well, then even him traveling out to LA, didn't he go to LA in the first one? I mean, the second one? Because Creed
Yeah,
leaves Philly.
he did say he took the train. So
Oh,
he's more
goodness,
comfortable.
man.
He's almost like John Madden. John Madden like never flew anywhere. He just took his bus everywhere.
Oh, no. That's way too
Yeah.
many hours.
He said he hated flying, so he always had like he had the Madden bus that he would like take to like every single football game that he announced.
Dude, that's too many hours. That's insane.
But if you're not driving, you're just kind of chilling in the back and everything.
Yeah, but you're just sitting there just like, ugh.
But
And you can
imagine
only have so many snacks.
He's John Madden, man. That back of the bus is probably like super nice.
Probably decked out, but still, like, oh my goodness. Like, can we be there already? How many hours? 27? Like, no. Get me out of here. Get me on a 2-hour plane ride to the same place.
Yeah, right.
Like, get out of here with that.
But so we get the introduction of like it. I can't. I'm guessing that they never referred to Apollo from the first films, the first Rockies, as having an affair in
No, they
those
didn't. I
Rocky
doubt they
films.
touched that.
Yeah, no, that's why I
I
was like, all
doubt they
right,
touched on that.
but it makes sense. It's like a good kind
Yeah,
of way of introducing a character that you had probably no plan to introduce a character like Apollo's son in
yeah.
the future, like maybe Rocky or Sylvester Stallone
Sylvester.
did not even like plan for that.
And
But
somebody was like, "Hey, let's do this."
yeah,
It was
but
a
it's a
great
good
idea.
way. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's like a perfect way to kind of introduce it.
yeah.
And so,
I really enjoyed like because I watched. You said you didn't watch them in order,
no.
but I watched them in order, and I liked. You can see has how much changed over the years, like from 2015 to 2018, like within the movie and just how like everything is shot, and it could be the directors also, but I really enjoyed like the representation, the way they represented Philly. Like they
Hmm.
showed the Philly cheesesteaks, they showed the kids riding motorbikes through the
Yeah.
streets. They just showed like the city and just kind of getting that Rocky feel into the movie. And then the second one was just like totally different. Like, hey, we're building up on this big rivalry from Rocky's past. And now, well, Rocky and Creed's past. And now Creed is going to have to deal with the son and just this menacing factor of Drago's kid. And then you watch the third one, it's like now they're homies.
And it's like a focus on LA
Yeah,
and
yeah.
different portions of LA. Like granted the third
Crenshaw,
one,
Lamar
yeah,
Park, yeah,
it's that like kind of dynamic between like the ones that don't have anything, like his
yeah.
buddy that comes out of prison, and then the one that has everything,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
The has and has nots.
Yeah, it you did see like a clear distinction of even time changing, because it was funny to me. I don't know if you watch boxing or anybody that listens to us to this, as like I grew up watching boxing and stuff. Like we would have like parties and stuff, and we would order a boxing fight and stuff, and kind of like sit around and watch and stuff. But and as I grew older, like I would watch boxing like casually throughout my time. But it was always that like you watch the HBO Sports like lead up to the
Oh yeah.
boxing fight. So they would
All that
show
behind the
like the
scenes
two.
of them getting ready and
Yeah,
prepping.
so you saw that was HBO in the first two films. And
Oh
then
yeah.
just recently Showtime has kind
Showtime.
of kind of taken like the reins of boxing and stuff in terms of showing that background footage and everything and all that stuff. And you saw that in the new Creed 3, where it was like, oh, now it's Showtime and everything.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like I saw it and like I remember all of like the behind the scenes of like Pacquiao Floyd and them making big deals about that. But it didn't click about the HBO to Showtime.
Yeah, it was a good way to kind of show, and it was good to like integrate that into it, because I think HBO and Showtime do a great job of doing those fight camps and kind
Hmm.
of showing the aspects of it. And I think maybe it was a way to kind of like, I wonder if like they contacted HBO like, hey, like would you be cool with us like showing this, maybe get some extra funds for something, I don't know, but
Yeah.
like a promotional thing, because it shows at the bottom of the corner like HBO Sports or something. So I'm assuming someone's paying
It's
something for
legit. Yeah, it's definitely legit.
that. But I another thing that, and we're kind of going into the likes, what we liked about the movie,
Yeah.
the all three movies. But the first one, I really enjoyed it. I don't know if it was like gimmicky like now, or if like people see it as gimmicky. But when
Hmm.
they like paused on every fighter and showed like their nickname, their like
Oh yeah,
title, and
yeah.
like all this stuff, I loved that in the first film. I kind of wish they would have kept that going,
I'm
like even
surprised
with
they
the new
didn't.
fighters. Me
Yeah.
too. I was kind of like that was like maybe a downside to me, like for all the rest of the ones. But the
Hmm.
first one, I was like, that's you know that's going through everyone's like minds when they like if they're a true fighter and
Yeah.
they go and meet someone that like is actually a professional fighter, you know, they're like records going through their mind, how many knockouts they have and stuff and everything. And so that's a good representation of like, oh, like here's the dude or here's the person.
Yeah. We're so I in the first one I knew I don't know why I'm blanking on this man's name now.
The
Um
the one from Oakland,
yeah. And I
Andre
knew
Ward.
there we go.
Yeah.
Andre Ward was a legit fighter. And then in the third one, they had a younger guy, younger fighter. Is he an actual boxer?
I don't know. Actually, the I'm not too versed on boxing nowadays, and it could
Okay.
be, but I know Andre Ward at the
Yeah, he was
time was he was like considered one of the
one of the
greatest fighters in
best,
the
right?
world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Olympian
and
and all that.
yeah, and I think at that point he was kind of fading away from boxing, and so maybe he took on the acting role. But I don't know about the third one. What was his name? Felix.
Yeah, Felix.
Yeah, he
Because they
looked.
don't use their real names.
Yeah, like what Andre Ward's name was like
Like
Wheeler or
Wheeler.
something.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so, but that that third one, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look it up, man. I'm gonna get back into boxing. As a weird personal story about myself, like I used to I don't know if you like ESPN. Remember when you used to like get ESPN on like a TV package, but then you also got like ESPN Classic.
Yes. And
And
they have like all
so
the old sports.
yeah, so like I would there was like this like hour of the late night sports ESPN classic that I would watch before I go to sleep. They would show like a black and white or like a very old boxing fight and then back it up with like one that's like fairly modern and stuff. So I would
Oh
watch
wow.
like an hour of boxing every night that like it was like this like black and white one that's like some like people that probably I didn't even know, and then it will transition to like more modern kind of like the spectacle of boxing like as you see now or like that the big entrances that
Big
was
lights and everything, the
yeah
music.
was shown in the movies that you saw like how some of them like Drago's walk out in the second film, like he just like walks out like no
I really
music, no
liked how
nothing.
Felix came out. How
Oh
Felix came out
yeah.
with the Day of the
Yeah, my
Dead
girlfriend and
guy.
I were like, that was cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I actually liked the best entrance, I think, was pre what Adonis's entrance in
Adonis.
the second one with his wife singing. Like when she
Oh, that
it's
was good too.
yeah, yeah, that was cool. But
Yeah, I like that one. I love, okay. One thing I truly enjoy about these, and it's typical for damn near every sports movie, but the montages. Like when everything is like, this man's life is becoming ruined. How is he going to get out of this situation? And then the music starts to slowly intensify, and he's boxing and punching bags, and he's running down the street.
gets you pumped
And
up.
yeah, so I liked how they did it, and they were so different. Well, two and three were pretty similar, but like the first one with him running through Philly, I really like that. Him in the desert in the second one when he's like, okay, I have to learn how to be close and punch.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was cool. But then this one, I think was my favorite because then you see both sides. You see Jonathan Majors, uh, Damien craziness, climbing up two ropes, pumping
Yeah,
iron at
right.
freaking
Like
Muscle
Venice Beach and
Beach.
everything.
Yeah. And then you see Adonis running up hills and like boxing with himself. I truly enjoyed it. I really
Yeah,
liked number three a lot.
did you? It's funny. I number three in my head is the one I least liked.
Really?
Yeah, and nothing to like Michael B. Jordan. Maybe it is
Hmm.
because it's like it was his first directing role. But
Hmm.
there's some parts of it where it's like the first two I think did it better.
Okay.
And so in terms of like, but granted, and this is to the first two. The first two are essentially retellings
There's Rocky
of
movies.
the original movies.
Yeah, there's just
It's
Rocky
just
movies.
Adonis does not die when he fights the Russian,
Yeah,
and he comes back. In the old movie, that's how
Apollo
Apollo
dies.
dies, and then Rocky steps in to beat the Russian in Russia. And
Yeah,
so it essentially, the first two are essentially the same exact movies of the first Rockies.
I think
And
that's
and
why. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
well, no, it's like there's something for the last one. It's nothing to the directing. I actually like the opening of the Creed 3 where it's like that like
Oh, the
long
fight.
shot of the car going down like the road of like these big houses and
Oh,
stuff, and it shows the inevitable where like the person driving is his buddy
yeah.
that serves time in prison and kind of like does not live that lavish lifestyle, where Adonis
Has
was
always had it.
blessed to have it, where his kind of so-called mother comes and kind of gives him this lifestyle, or allows him to kind of get this lifestyle and stuff.
Yeah.
And so you immediately see that, and I like that kind of like look of like the car driving down like the quiet street,
The
and then it
LA
goes
street
to
with the
like
palm
an
trees.
over the shoulder kind of look in the back of the car. It's almost like a what Scorsese likes to do that too, where it's like a kind of like the camera guy's like in the back of the car basically.
Yeah.
And it gives you like a wide shot of like what the person's looking at outside of the windshield and stuff. So stuff like that, I think were like excellent choices for Michael B. Jordan and stuff. And yes, that's the cinematographer working with Michael B. Jordan too,
Yeah.
but it essentially Michael B. Jordan is the director and the CEO
He
or
has final
the
say.
final
Yeah.
decision maker of everything. So everything falls positively on him or negatively on
Hmm.
these directors and stuff. But yeah, it's like it there we'll kind of get into it, but um I feel like I don't know, I feel like I was more pumped up by the first two. That's one of like my
Okay.
thing too, where it's like I walked out of the third one, I was like, I wasn't ready to like go on a diet or go work out.
Okay, I'll give
but
you that. Yeah. The first two,
but
you're like, oh, dang, I should probably get my life together.
I was like, I told myself I gotta wake up and go on the treadmill, but no, I kept hitting snooze.
There was, so kind of to your point of the first two being retellings, the third one for me has been my favorite one. Um, it really felt more grounded. It felt like a Creed movie. The first two didn't feel like Creed movies. It felt like, okay, the first one is the build up or getting to know this character. Hey, here's Rocky. That's an established person. He's getting involved in this person's life because of who his father is. That's great. I enjoyed it. Second one was like, okay, well, I'm gonna avenge my father's death. Rocky avenged my father's death, but I want to do it for my sake as well. So those, yeah, like you said, those felt like Rocky movies. Those didn't feel like they were their own new
Own
series.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, but this one felt grounded. It felt like, okay, this is the first time Adonis is really going out on his own and figuring things out, especially when it comes to like the mental health that he was dealing with from his
Mm-hmm.
past, the passing of his mother, dealing with a friend that basically took the rap for some shit he started and is now coming back into his life. So, and it could be like seeing, because there's not too many black movies that kind of go into that. So to see two significant black men, especially right now in movies, both acting, both fighting each other, both giving great performances, I think that's one of the reasons why I was more in the three than the first two.
Yeah, you can see where it's like in real life, granted, like the in everyday life, the in movies and culture and stuff, the Russians are always
The
the
evil.
bad guy and stuff. And
Yeah.
granted, that's well deserved. But in terms of like everyday life in America and like in most people, the story does not be like a kind of like a clash between countries
Yeah.
for most of these individuals. And I do second what you said in terms of the third one, where it's like it is a more unique story
Yeah.
to
It
Adonis. And
feels more realistic.
yeah, because the first two are definitely those hero stories, and
Yeah.
they're not necessarily like granted, like the third one, he wants a title shot, and even Adonis is like, no, that doesn't happen. But it's like, yeah, but it happened to you and
Yeah.
everything. And so yeah, it's like the first two are things that like are either 100% not gonna happen in real life, or they're like just manufactured for the sake of the movie and stuff.
Yeah.
Where the third one you saw, where it's like, who doesn't have friends that you lose touch and kind of like go down a certain route and
Hmm.
want to rekindle things and stuff, and nothing to that, but you saw the nefarious ways of what he was doing
Yeah.
and what he was trying to kind of manipulate Adonis to do.
Dude, when
And
they showed that photo of him in prison with that guy that broke Drago's arm, I was like, dang.
did you see him shake hands at the party?
No.
So I saw it in the movie theater, and I was like, hey, did you? That's the guy that he shook hands with. So what's Jonathan Majors' character's name?
Damien.
Damien. Yeah. So when he's at the party,
Hmm.
and then when Adonis like leaves him to himself, and then I
Hmm.
think he goes and talks to Adonis's wife and stuff about music. There's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
quick shot where Damien's in the background, and he like shakes hands with these two dudes, and then they like part ways. And then one
Mm.
of those dudes that he shakes hands with is the guy that
The
breaks
Drago's arm.
Drago's arm. And so like
Dang.
he must have invited them, I guess, and like and so yeah, I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. That's pretty crazy that was like, and that's another testament to Michael B. Jordan, where it's like
Yeah. It's the
that's like a
subtleties.
weird like little thing, like you blink once and you miss it, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, like where did the hell did this guy come from? But yeah, when the mom, and especially the mom, like you can't fault the mom when trying to like protect Adonis and
Yeah. And
in
then her like confessing everything, like in her dying moments of like using Adonis as a reason to forgive Apollo, and Adonis was her like saving grace to a certain extent.
oh yeah, that was a tear jerker. I was it
Yeah.
was funny. Me and my girlfriend were in the movie theater, and we showed up, and it was just me and my girlfriend. Granted, we're a bunch of old people. We went at 11 o'clock in the morning.
That's my favorite time to go.
Yeah, it was matinee. It was still like crazy expensive, but matinee price. But then this other individual came in, and so it was me, my girlfriend, is this other person that was in the movie theater, and that when that scene where she's dying and she's confusing him with Apollo, and like it's saying that and then she dies.
Yeah.
Like I can the movie theater was so quiet that like you could hear the other individual like sniffling. I was like, yeah, man,
Oh
this is
no.
I was like, this is not what I was expecting at 11 o'clock in the morning.
No, especially not for a freaking boxing movie.
Right? But man, I
Like
was like,
Rocky had
that's
cancer for like 10 minutes and it's like, okay, now Rocky's good.
yeah. It's just like, but I was like, man, that's too bad.
I was like looking through my notes, my
Oh.
bad. Yeah, I still like we just touched on the Rocky cancer thing. I still don't understand why that was even a storyline.
Yes, I guess it's too.
What came
I
and
didn't.
went so quickly.
Yeah, right. Where it's like, and there was a conflict. I guess it adds the conflict of like him wanting to just fade away and not believe that they were family and stuff. I guess
Yeah.
even though Adonis wanted to and stuff, and then
Kept calling him
Adonis,
Unc.
yeah, right. I don't know. I think that it was nice to. It's good that like that that's the Stallone was is still alive and cognizant enough that like I'm not saying that he's not now, like he's fine, but
Yeah.
was able to act and be Rocky, an
Hmm.
old Rocky Balboa and stuff. And I maybe that's the reason why I like the first two better, because it's like I like for me, I used to watch the first Rockies quite a bit and
Hmm.
stuff, and so it was like that connection. of like, oh, like yeah, Rocky was Apollo's buddy, man, and Apollo, like, to the testament of the first two, like they didn't give enough like acknowledgement that like Apollo was the one that gave him all of it and all that
Mm,
stuff. And so it like Rocky was an old broken down person that like just boxed for no reason and stuff, and then eventually got his title shot because it was just a random spectacle that Apollo wanted to give him or give the world and stuff. And so, but
exactly what Adonis did for Damien.
yeah, yeah, basically, and it almost ended horribly because
Yeah. Oh my goodness. He tore that guy up. I really loved how they because I keep seeing it, you already know, like doing during movie times when it's a big movie, the actors do a bunch of press.
uh
So I've been watching interviews and like Michael B. Jordan was talking about how he was heavily inspired by anime
oh,
when it came to the boxing scenes. So you'll see, and you saw the movie, so all the close-ups and like the slow-mos. I really enjoyed how they did that. Like they
see,
really emphasized the punches. You didn't like that.
you're gonna hate me. It's through all of them actually. When I was watching the second one too last night, it I
Yeah.
for me, I wasn't really keen on like the slow motion. It's funny
Hmm.
because it's like it like I don't know. I was like, I can't really like articulate why I don't like it,
Hmm.
but it's in all of them too. And it's like, I guess it's
Yeah.
like a cinematic way
This one's more like
to show.
amplified.
But it's funny that when you say that he was influenced by anime, that's
Mhm.
I can see that as to why that's in there and stuff, especially the
What?
end
Oh, like that whole
where,
dream sequence.
yeah, that dream sequence, which it was a good way to kind of not show the traditional boxing like choreography or like
Yeah.
kind of thing in the movie where you're like showing each round and they're kind of going through each round. It was a good way to kind of quicken up the sequence by having that dream sequence,
Yeah.
and then you automatically kind of wake up in the 12th round. And so you don't have to go through each round, and that's actually interesting to know that that was the inspiration. It's like kind of like the anime style. That's cool, actually.
Mhm.
I
Yeah, I
I'm
like
gonna
the
have to rewatch it again and pay like $30 to rent it on my
again,
TV.
yeah. Shoot, it might be 50. You can just wait a month for it to come on streaming services.
I know, right? I think I was able to rent it yesterday if I wanted to. If I didn't want to
Creed
go to the
3?
movie theater, I was able to. I think I was able to.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I was like, but like, why don't we go outside, touch
Yeah.
grass?
Get get some sun for a little bit
Yeah,
and then go into a dark room
right.
for
Yeah,
2 hours.
get some sun in Oregon for like 2 seconds. But one of my other downsides, I don't want. I just kind of want to get all my downsides out of the way.
Yeah.
For Creed 3, it was the slow motion stuff, and it was
Hmm.
for all of them too. It's like that's a downside for all of them.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just it's a product of like our current kind of like music choices.
Hmm.
But I feel like third choices of the choice of music
Hmm.
did not match the atmosphere. Granted, they chose Nipsey
Hmm.
Hussle, which is a good selection and stuff, and
Yeah.
like I listen to Nipsey Hussle quite a bit, but I feel like the choices of music was different in like the because I
The
think it
first
was like
two.
too modern
Yeah,
for the
because the
third
first
one.
two had very like movie-esque, triumphant, like you get the the orchestra sounds.
Yeah,
And this one was like, okay, we're giving you a straight up song. Like they had Dr. Dre playing in the beginning to open the movie.
yeah, and it's like it's that's nice, but I guess giving it like a little bit of flair for the movie.
Yeah.
I guess you don't want to kind of tarnish Dr. Dre's music or anybody else's music and stuff, but yeah, granted, yes, like you said, it's like I guess that's what like that's why I kind of had like the same the reaction of the first and two, where it's like I was like pumped up and everything, and because it's like you have like the trumpets and the buildup of the
Hmm.
music and stuff, and you all throughout the movie, even more so in those like training sequences, but even still throughout the movie, you have it where like there's
You
always
have a
like that
score.
subtle, yeah, yeah, that's what you're like expecting and stuff. And
Yeah.
the third one,
They're like, nah.
it was yeah, it was not there. And granted, it was a bunch of like LA music and stuff, and because
Yeah.
it was based in LA, but who cares about LA?
Yeah, I think I already kind of touched on my downsides. Oh, yeah, a lot of my issues dealt with people that were outside of like the main cast. Like Drago's situation with his mother, that was a weird thing they kept focusing on
Well,
in the
she's in
second
the
one.
original one.
I figured that.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, literally just a remake of Rocky
Hmm.
for that. Um, I do like how they had the through line of Adonis's anger issues. How they how that started in the first one, like, okay, this man has anger issues, that continued on, and then we finally have that, like, oh, this is the reason why he's such an angry person. And they
Yeah,
kind of
they're
dive
like
into it a little bit more.
that's true. Where it's like it's an ongoing storyline and
Mhm.
an item that he needs to address, and it comes to head from for the third one where even the wife is like, you need to address this
Yeah,
because
like, you
you
got to figure
can't.
it out, bro.
Yeah.
Look at our daughter.
Like you said before, it's like I think that was a good like mental health kind of representation of like especially in the male
Yeah,
culture. A lot of people don't want to be talking. Even myself, it's like I find myself where it's like who has feelings? Let me
what are these
just
feelings I
yeah,
feel?
let me just point to something on the refrigerator and say that's me, and then let me just walk away.
I'll just draw a picture.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like a lot of things, it's like if it builds up, it's gonna build up and come back. And if you don't address it, it's like it's just gonna come back even worse down the
Yeah,
road and stuff. And especially it's gonna come back even worse when you have things going on in your life that like you're struggling. It was nice to know that it was showing that the struggling of like a retired individual, technically,
yeah,
even though he was probably retired at like
30.
35.
Yeah, like super
and like
young.
and like a multi millionaire and stuff. But it shows that like people that like what they do can't find a way to retire from it because it's like
Mhm.
you that's why you liked it. That's why you're great and stuff.
Yeah,
And so the downfall of every great person is trying to rekindle that fire that was before and
yeah.
stuff. And so that it's just it was a good kind of way of like showing that and so and all that. I enjoyed that. That was good.
Yeah, and I think the mental health issue is just significant within minority cultures in general, not even just the male side. It's definitely terrible in the male side because I'm on the same boat, like expressing what I have going on or telling somebody about it. I'm just like, nah, I'll just bottle it in. I'll figure it out later, rather than being
When
like,
you're
hey, let me
dead.
get this out. Exactly. Yeah. I can wait. It can wait a little bit longer. So I'm glad they like touched on that. They kind of showed that it's okay to open up. Like it took him a long time, but once he did, it seemed like he had that weight lifted off.
Yeah, and also that the significance of like he had like a negative response of like, what do you want me to go to therapy and stuff?
Yeah.
And where his wife was like, no, like you like I have someone to talk to, like your mother and stuff. Like I can relate to everything. And so that's you can have some therapy sessions with individuals that you just talk to. It doesn't have to
Hmm.
be granted, go go find a professional to
Yes.
talk about things, but sometimes your friends can be those like free therapy
There's a
sessions.
soundboard. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a true testament too, that like you said earlier, that I what I liked about the third one is that how good the acting was.
Yeah.
Everyone across the board was like crazy good.
Mhm.
And so you saw it with like you see how Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors can take the screen and kind of like take the whole movie with them and stuff. And so and you saw the progression of like how like Michael B. Jordan being like sort of a baby face in the first one.
Oh yeah.
And even in his the size of his body,
You
like
see him
this,
like progressively get larger. Yeah.
yeah, you saw it where it's like, and granted that happened in Rocky in the first Rockies because they found this thing called steroids. So
Yeah.
no, but you saw that where it's like the first Rocky, he's kind of soft and stuff, and then out of
Mhm.
nowhere, it's like
Hard
there's like
body.
veins and small waist and stuff. But back then it was like what that was like the golden age of bodybuilding at that time
Yeah.
when the first Rockies came out. So Muscle Beach was a huge significance. Arnold was coming out and doing his thing and stuff. And so that you saw this like it was kind of like if you think about it, like a fairly early kind of like or like a non typical like bodybuilding movie because it's like you have these individuals. It's not you're not showing like traditional like how you get to that body, um but that was like the influence too, most
Yeah.
likely. People walking around Venice Beach and someone was like, I want you to look like that.
No more of this dad bod. I need some
Yeah,
cuts.
right.
I need some good lumps, some hard lumps, not these not these soft lumps you have.
But you saw that with both of them, or not necessarily, but Jonathan Majors, you see just
Oh
how
yeah.
much of a size and presence he was. I was like, man, this guy kind of has like a little bit of like a Mike Tyson type of deal where it's like he just like comes
Mm.
in, even though Mike Tyson, in terms of a boxer, he was like more methodical and stuff, but where where Jonathan Majors' character comes in and just swings with a
Oh yeah.
cement brick coming to your head and stuff. And so
Just
you saw
cracking
just like
dudes.
the raw power
Yeah.
that he can that almost kind of like was that what built up in prison and stuff like those 18 years that he spent in prison was that built up kind of like
That anger.
yeah, and then he like releases it when it's in the ring and stuff.
Just trying to kill people. And almost did.
Yeah, just to get that title shot. Come on.
Hey. Should we ask the question? Oh yeah, what'd you end up rate? So I ended up rating because you saw Creed 3 before I did. So when I went to rate mine, I saw your rating, but do we want to get into ratings?
Yeah, so you probably saw my early rating. I gave I gave Creed 3. Okay, so I had to change it
Oh,
because so I gave Creed 1 a 4.
okay.
And then I when I watched Creed 2 last night, I
Hmm.
gave it a 4.
Okay.
But Creed 3, I came out of the movie theater and I was like, all right, 4. But
Okay.
I was like, I have like I watched the first two
Yeah.
and I'm like, if I'm saying I like those two better than Creed 3,
You have
why are
to
they
change your rating.
all yeah, why are they all rated 4?
Yeah.
And so, and granted, it's like that. That's the first time I've gone back and changed it and stuff. But I think it's because I watched them out of order. Maybe that messed me up. But but yeah, I gave Creed 3 a 3.5,
Okay.
and
The first two are 4.
the first two a 4.
Okay. So my ratings are completely different. So for Creed 1 and 2, I enjoyed them, but I gave those both a 3.
Okay,
And then I gave Creed 3 a 4.
okay. So yeah, so almost like
Yeah.
reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and I gotta get better at articulating what what like I should like write in the review in my phone. But it's typically like a first like reaction to
Yeah.
the movie when I kind of come out of it and stuff. But
But then
it was
sometimes it's like in the middle of the movie, you kind of get that feeling of like, this isn't going
yeah,
to get any better, any worse. I'm going to give it this rating now.
no, definitely. And it's like I think that's like it definitely with all these movies I'm watching nowadays, it's like all right, like you're kind of like all right, like let's just start off at 3. and
Yeah.
then you kind of like go from there and stuff, and you're like, all right, like here's this scene, that scene's gonna be like it's gonna take it over the top and stuff. Or again, like the last time I was explaining where it's like the emotional kind of aspect of things, where it's like if it hit me emotionally more so than other movies, then yeah, that's a fairly good movie and stuff, because like these movies are made to transport you to another place and time and stuff, or into another aspect of life and stuff. But um yeah, I feel like the first two, I was pumped. I was like, I'm ready to work out and stuff and get back to what I used to look like in my 20s. And my girlfriend was like, yeah, do it. But the third one, I wasn't as juiced afterwards.
Yeah, but then this whole talk, you were saying how much you enjoyed this part of three and this part of
I
three.
know,
So
right?
I don't know.
That's why it's like I probably should stick with the four, because it's a great movie, and I think it's a good first showing of Michael B. Jordan. No matter what, he's going to get
Yeah.
better from here if he
Oh
decides to
yeah.
continue to direct,
Yeah.
because and it's almost like you see how well people can do when they're like, and whether or not Ryan Coogler
I
like
was part
kind
of
of
it.
showed him into like, hey, this is like what I do and stuff, and
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan showed an interest and stuff, and because Michael B. Jordan's had a lot of people around him that are great at what they do, and
Yeah.
so I think that's sort of like what's nice, and you see that coming out in his product and stuff,
Hmm.
and and hopefully down the road we see more of like who he wants to kind of like show for
Emulate.
himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he not like people should not strive to be the Jordan Peele or the Martin Scorsese or this and this. They want to be
Yeah.
themselves and
You
stuff.
make
But
your own lane out of it. Yeah.
yeah, what does that look like? And what types of movies are you gonna want to kind of go out? And
I
is
hope
he
he
gonna pick a genre and everything like
I hope
sports?
he
Is that
directs
gonna
Rainbow
be?
Six.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would actually. I
That'd be
wonder. Yeah,
great. Because he did, yeah, they already did Without Remorse, and we already know Rainbow Six is coming. So
yeah.
I would love to see him direct that.
Interesting. Yeah, I wonder if John Krasinski's gonna show up and aren't they
Make
like
his
the same?
appearance.
They're not the same character, right?
No, they're not.
Yeah,
He's like Jack. He's not Jack Reacher, right? He's Jack Ryan or something.
Jack Ryan, I think. Yeah,
That confuses the hell out of me. The Jack Reacher, Jack Ryan crap.
well, they're father and son.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Jack
Okay.
Ryan is the original one, and then Jack Reacher is the son. And
Got it.
if I'm getting it wrong, I'm gonna look it up. But
Yeah.
my dad used to read all those books all the time,
Okay.
and he used to talk about like Jack Ryan or something like that. I think eventually he becomes president
Oh, wow.
in the books and stuff and everything. So like he like CIA and stuff, and he's like some computer whiz, and then or like a historian. I think he's like a history person.
Okay.
But yeah, so I gotta read those books too.
Nah, you can just watch the TV shows and
Yeah, I
movies now.
spend too
You're
much
good.
time watching TV and
Just take the easy route. You're good.
yeah. Hey, but this movie definitely I went to my phone and downloaded the bodybuilding book from Arnold and stuff, and I was like, because I know we're gonna be watching Jonathan Majors in that
Oh,
magazine
yeah.
dreams.
Magazine Dreams.
So
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, I gotta like read up on bodybuilding and stuff. And
They still have not given that a release date.
I know, right? But they the last what we read is it's supposed to come out in 2023, but
Yeah.
where it's already March. So
Yeah. Probably summer.
yeah.
That's a perfect time. Make everybody feel bad that didn't work out.
Yeah, right. I know.
That's
I'm over
late
here
enough.
trying. I'm gonna eat a rice cake tomorrow.
That's a last ditch effort. Like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah, we're supposed to go camping in like August with Nicholas. So,
oh yeah,
but yeah. But to the last question, Kai, would you
yeah.
buy these movies for your personal movie collection?
I would. Yeah, I really
Yep.
enjoyed all of them.
Would you buy all of them?
Yeah, I would buy the whole. Yeah, the trilogy.
I feel like you can't like go if there's like a trilogy. I feel like even though if there's one of them you don't like, I feel like you have to buy all of them. Like it's
No, I
like the
wouldn't.
completionist.
So it's funny you say that because I despise Ocean's 12.
Oh
I
yeah.
wouldn't buy Ocean's 12. I would buy Ocean's 11 and 13 and 8 and just not buy 12.
Make a statement. Like 12 does not exist.
12 is not a real movie.
Well,
What
I was
about
like,
you?
yeah, yes, I would probably buy all three of them, and whether or not they're going to make more, I don't know. That's a question to you. Do you think they're going to make more?
Yeah, I think they've already. I think I saw something about. Well, the way they ended three, it seemed like okay, they're gonna let there be more. And then I think I saw something about them wanting to expand it to more movies and more potentially TV shows.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
if
might
that's
have.
like Rocky kind of like went down the hill when like they started making a bunch of them. and
Yeah.
uh and so it's like hopefully they kind of do well. I actually would be nice, and this is another thing to the movie, the representation of people that are hard of hearing and
Yeah.
have that disability and stuff, but like my family have hard of hearing, and a lot of them kind of like utilize hearing aids and stuff, and using the sign language was like that was cool and
Hmm.
everything, and it's showing as like the sign language as it goes and stuff. But it would be nice if it would be cool if like the next movies, like since the daughter has like a like of or like has an
Oh,
interest in
boxing.
boxing,
Yeah.
like that is like the next Creed and
I'd rather
everything.
that
And
be a
so
TV show though. I'd rather like dive
mm,
into that world as a TV show of like the daughter and her growing up, figuring out how to survive in a world with hearing impairments, and then keep the
while trying to
movies
box.
and while trying to box, yeah. And then keep the movies like Creed, and she like makes her cameos and everything. They need to stop at a certain point though. Like I don't want 30 Creed movies. I'd be like, dude, you're 94. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's
But
like yeah, because like he's technically retired in this movie, so like what is he gonna do?
yeah, just retire the whole movie.
Yeah,
Someone's gonna call
right.
you. You already know someone's gonna call him out, just like Damien did, and there's gonna be a whole nother movie.
Well, yeah, but so it goes.
Yeah, they have money for it. Keep doing
Yep,
it.
just do it. But all right, Kai, you want to take us out?
Yeah. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Saturday Night Popcorn. I'm Kai.
And I'm Jason, and we'll be back next week for another one.